Hi, good evening. Oh, what a wonderful show, Indrajit. I'm still reeling from all of that, but well, I got to carry on. So, yeah, while and beyond NID, somewhere just a little historical perspective, what I've been doing in the last many years is I got interested in leather as a material, and eventually from leather, I moved into jewelry and crafts, And somewhere the whole concept of craftsmanship and making and selling products became a lot of my intimate relationship with design. So while the slideshow will continuously show some of the works that we've been doing over the last many years, it's just a cross section of work that we've been doing. So the idea behind what we've been doing is a very intimate relationship between making, concept, making, and selling. It's a very integrated approach from our studio. We are a very small design studio. We are about 7, 8 people in the design team. We are a large making workshop. In total, we are about 80, 90 people who work together to make these objects and then hope that somewhere they find their place to be sold, because we've never really made these objects from point of view of selling. We've always made these objects from point of view of loving what we do and having a lot of fun in the process of doing so. Luckily, they've found some good place in whatever they've been doing, and they create a market for us. And the brands, when you say bespoke, the brands have really not been created. Brands have evolved around the objects that we've made. There was no intention to create a brand. There was no intention to create a body of work which represents a brand. They kind of evolved in their own, but eventually created a problem for us in terms of brand marketing. We had to figure out what brand marketing is about. We had to figure out how to present it, what its ethos will be like. We never considered any of those things while making these objects. And they've kind of, one of the great things that we've always concentrated on is great quality to the products that we make, because that's been our calling card. Wherever we've gone internationally, design can be subjective in many ways, but quality has always stood out in terms of what it has offered. And that's, our mantra at our workshop at all points of time. Really, a lot of work has fallen aside if we can't produce it well. If it is produced well, then only it goes forward. And the entire team to build it through in an Indian ecosystem where, a lot of chalta happens, a lot of, to train your team to work with you. I can't be at all the stations at all the times. But quality has been a great hallmark in whatever we've been trying to do, and everybody lives the pride of it in whatever we've done so far. So, in the process, we have created 2 brands. One, unfortunately, goes under my name. I'm always told to behave myself. I'm not the brand. The brand is different from me. But it was a name which was given a long time ago, and it continues to sell. The other body of work, one is Mukul Goyal, which is a range of objects, homewares, tablewares, home decor. These are the kind of objects we've done. We work a lot in metal. Primarily, our playground has always been metal, because when I started my own studio, I started working in metal because it was the cheapest medium to work in. You could get a nukkad, go to a new workshop on the side and start playing with it. And over the years, I've never found the end of working in metal. It continues to challenge me. It continues to, inspire me in many ways. So yeah, these are a lot of the objects that we've made and sold. And of course, we learn along the way about regulations, about packaging, about branding, about selling, all of that kind of encapsulates these works, Even tried our hand at jewelry. Jewelry really actually taught me about feeling design, about detailing, about the perfection of a piece. about the weight of a piece. There are a lot of little things. At a time when I was designing jewelry, I didn't even have, my ears pierced, and I would put clip-on earrings and stand in front of a mirror and see how it's going to feel, how it's going to look, how it's going to fall. All those things, to start feeling a design rather than, just making an object which you don't know how it's going to perform, or performance is not really the key to the object. Then we kind of, over the years, developed a whole range of home hardware, very simple, humble home hardware, which we tried to explore in various mediums and develop these objects to be sold through shops. The whole challenge of our field is that you're selling these objects in a store somewhere, and you're not there to sell them. You don't have a machinery to sell them, and there are these large brands which are selling these objects. So how does an object speak for itself to kind of ask a user, yes, I want this product? Does it communicate quality? Does it communicate good design? Does it communicate feeling? And that's how we've tried to really explore the idioms of various things that we've been trying to do over the years, and create a whole body of language around it. So somewhere around 8-9 years ago, I've been working on a very tiny scale of objects for a long time. And I thought, why not just give it a fillip and try and see if I can work on a very, very different scale altogether, So we started exploring very large-scale objects at a point of time. And, that whole area started developing as installations, artworks, and things like that, something that I had not really geared myself to work in. But, there was a whole challenge of trying to work at very fine quality at a very small scale versus doing a very large-scale project. And it kind of, in the initial years, to work on those, projects was very, very challenging for us. I'm moving ahead rather than the slides, but they will follow sometime. Yeah, so we've done a lot of large projects over the years. Of course, the challenges that we've always faced as a studio in the last many years has been one, of course, of the digital marketing that has come, and of course, trying to, communicate quality through images, because, the feeling, there's a whole age of influencers that has come in, architects as influencers of these objects. They are the ones who are specifying these objects, and how do you reach out to them through a product, And of course, there is big business behind this whole thing, and we are a studio quality product. So what is the gap that you need to fulfill in these areas? A lot of people are just impressed by pretty pictures. So do we make these pictures? How do you communicate these values? And I was joking with, Girdhar just in the morning. He says we call every project we do in communication design a product. And I said, I call my every project in product design as a communication design, and so the fields are changing. So really we have to be able to do what you want, enjoy doing what we are doing, at the same time be able to communicate what you're doing. And so communication becomes a large part of our work, apart from just creating it. So at the end of the day, what you're doing has to sell somewhere in a store in a far-off distance. And whether you're able to get somebody to understand the values of what you're creating is very, very important. So, and also in Tattva, a lot of the projects we do, it's a kind of a curated range. It's not just whatever you like. So you're presenting a wide array of designs to a consumer. So you're working with various design styles or visual styles for various, whether it's a modern setting, or it's a classical setting, or it's a funky space. So we've been working with a lot of different mediums, experimenting with a lot of finishes, and creating these objects. So we've been, a lot of challenges that have come to us are primarily to do with communication, a lot of to do with selling in the age of social media, trying to keep up with the Joneses, and also, how we can get these images to communicate the kind of craftsmanship that we have. So these are for us, in a way, that the changing landscape has not been COVID. COVID, we shut shop, we had a great time, we had a holiday, we can't work from home because our workshop, we only work in the workshop. And so that's why it was a great holiday, the holiday I never had. We had nobody to call. Nobody called us for money. We didn't have to call anybody for money. Nobody was doing anything. People we called was our team members to make sure everybody is all right, and that's about it. But it was a holiday I never had in 20 years. So it was good for us. But COVID did not change much for us. What change has happened over the years for, works like ours has primarily been through the internet-enabled selling, or it's been the buying through Instagram and all of these things. So we're still trying to cope with these challenges as such. So we have a whole range of curtain hardware, we have a range of bath hardware, we have a range of door handles, we have a small range of bespoke signages. So all these things kind of create the whole range of tattva that is there. I'll just move faster. This is a range of tiles that we've been experimenting with. These are small tiles which can be permutated and combinated in various patterns. So this is some of the studio work that we've been doing. This is a large bell called Ma Bell, and when you push her, she gongs, and it's in a hotel in Mussoorie. This is one of the first large-scale works that we did. This is called Klein. It was for Ken India's corporate office in Gurgaon. Well, a lot of this is in Mumbai International Airport. There's a large mobile about 25 meters long, 15 meters high, hanging from a single point, and we worked with, the Gond artists from Bhopal. And the whole idea was to integrate Gond art with mobile, and of course, these are fantastical figures. This is a large door. So, it's a huge cross-section. We started, it's a kind of various different projects with, this is just an exploration from our own studio called Monkey Business. This is a facade for a house. This is our own store, which we opened up just before the pandemic. This is the entry door to our store. This is an exploration in the craft of Dokra. So, there's a huge cross-section that we've been trying to experiment, whereas, larger works are concerned. So these don't come, this is a just recently completed project in Bhuj, which is in the Smritivan Memorial Museum. It's about 38 meters long, 8 meters high, and 8 meters wide. It is 16 tons of steel, but that's irrelevant parameters. The point here is we completed it in 4 months flat from concept to execution because Modi ji was coming to inaugurate it. And the beauty was how we were able to make it. It has 1 lakh katoris, which were nested together to make this. And it got inaugurated last month. And this is what, the whole idea is to have objects and installations where people interact, have fun. It's not about touch me not. And we've really had a great time, making this particular project. We lived on site for about a month, but yes, it came through. So thank you very much.